This is Ascension of the Chessmen. My guest today is my brother B. Today we're going to touch on freemasonry, the occult, spirituality, how my guest defines God to him personally, and a various range of other topics. We'll see where we end up. I'm never disappointed in the conversations we have. They're always filled with a lot of insights that come from them. So I'm excited to have my guest today, B. And all right, let's get started. All right, B. So my first question is, at what point can you record yourself coming into existence?
I don't know. That's a kind of strange question, but I'm not sure how to answer that question. Let's move on to the next one.
Let's move on.
That's really deep.
All right, and all right, we'll save the very deep ones for the end.
I don't know if I'm going to have an answer to that. Do I recognize when I came conscious? No, it's just it happened, and then it's been going on, and I can't. Yeah.
Okay, so this one's off the cuff. So, do you think consciousness or the soul, are they one and the same? And along with that, do you consider life beginning like before it's even become fertilized in the egg and all that? Or
I do think that life and the soul and consciousness are probably pretty intertwined, and I have no idea when that would first
that's a mystery.
Enter into the body
once it comes out of the vagina portal. Into this realm we call Earth, reality.
I don't know, there may be consciousness before then.
Right, exactly.
And it may be that we're all sitting in there in a pool of consciousness, and then whenever a body opens up, we all rush like the sperm, and then the one that wins gets to come to this world.
We're like climbing over each other, like, me. They're my family.
Or it may be very orderly. Who knows? I don't know.
Waiting in line.
I don't really worry about it.
It's like going to a restaurant, you get a reservation, and your table's open, ready to be served. So I guess, what is the meaning of life to you?
Meaning of life to me is enjoying life and not causing any harm to others.
I like that. That makes a lot of sense. You know, just enjoying your time here.
Being responsible with life. Sure. Enjoy it.
Making the most of it.
Get through the tough points and enjoy the nice points.
You bet. So I recently listened to a podcast about Aleister Crowley, and I've went back and forth on...
I don't like him.
Who he was. Yeah, I feel the same way, and that's the conclusion I've always come to. So many people paint him in such a good light. Like he brought so much.
Well, he's definitely...
And he writes about, like, you know, these sex rituals with kids and exposing very young kids to sex. Like, that's what needs to be done. Mm-hmm. And it's like, because in the podcast they were saying, you know, you couldn't, in a court trial, you couldn't say Aleister Crowley was a pedophile. But it's like... Okay, but he did write about pretty much being a pedophile.
Yeah,
so.
There's too many weird things about him and I don't have the information in front of me, but just off the top of my head, I think one of his sons, they went into, just the two of them, went to do a ritual, and then their son either went crazy or ended up dead. his wife, first or second, I don't even, or mistress, I'm not sure which one.
Right.
But some woman that he was involved in, and maybe 2 or 3, ended up going crazy, getting locked in a nut house and stuff. And
right.
So that's what I think about Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
I like everything. He's got some knowledge, but I certainly wouldn't
take it with a grain of salt.
Well, I would take
with anyone.
But I would take it surrounded with salt.
Yeah. Like a margarita.
Yes. Put a ring of salt around his words and then study them from within that protective barrier. Right.
So, I guess I was going to ask, what do you take from do what thou wilt and love is the law?
It's pure... do what you... Yeah, I mean, it's right there.
Right.
And love is, to them, love... And I can understand where they're coming from. After studying this for so long, their definition of love is the greater good for the greater...
them.
Yeah, the greater... Well... See, I don't believe it's us versus them. It's the greater us. They are human as well.
Right.
I'm sure you got questions about the aliens and stuff, and I don't know.
Right.
I've never seen one there. Yeah. So I try to stick in what I can understand, and with openness to there could be outside influences. Right. But so love to these people is the greater good for the greater us, the greater, and whether to them greater means smarter, faster, stronger, more evolved.
Initiated.
Yes, because they believe initiation is evolution. So.
Right. Okay, so moving on from old Crowley, the beast, the man, the Antichrist himself. How do you define God? Which is a very broad and deep question. So
creative energy, creative conscious energy.
Okay.
Because I think that's the one thing that. Separates animals from people is, I don't know, the ability to share consciousness, to talk to each other, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to say animals don't have a conscious, that they're not aware of things, and it may be a great, squirrels have a spirit in a great squirrel spirit group, that an individual squirrel doesn't have a consciousness, but the squirrel spirit is alive and has a conscience.
Right.
So, kind of, it sounds to me, as I say it, a Native American belief.
Okay. I've always appreciated the Native American belief system and just how connected they seem to be with natural law and that. Just moral principles that they had, and that you can't argue there was some savages within them as well. But
you just look at
nature.
There's nature itself. There's savagery,
right?
But it's without. See, the thing that makes things evil is the intent behind it, and I don't think so. That maybe there's a separation between animal consciousness and human consciousness. Is humans do things with intent. Mm-hmm. And that colors our actions. Mm-hmm. Killing someone could be done in a healthy way, and I'm talking like protecting somebody else from someone else. That you see someone attacking someone, and you try to stop that. Yeah, self-defense, defense of others. Mm-hmm. That kill may be justified. Right. It's whenever you do it for pleasure or then it becomes an evil thing. Mm-hmm. So, okay, I'm not sure where that thought went. Right. But anyway.
Yeah, I remember talking with you a while back, and we were talking about what God is, and just that you can't put it in a box. You can't put a title on it. Like, it just is, and I just loved how you put that. And
it's the undefinable,
right?
As soon as you try to label God and say this is what God is, then that
You've
that's
already
not
missed
God
it.
isn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess kind of a similar question, but what does spirituality mean to you? And I guess how do you stay connected or have a relationship with God in your eyes or in your life, I guess?
Spirituality is, I don't know, emotional consciousness. It's spirituality is that, again, it's, I'm having trouble defining it because it's undefinable.
Right.
We know it when we feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So spirituality comes from the heart. It comes from consciousness. And people like, oh, I'm a very spiritual person, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a good person.
Right.
Just that you connect with something higher than yourself, and that could be Lucifer.
Right. So what I'm getting is like, for you, it's like some random act of kindness throughout the day. Either way, whether it's you doing it, someone doing it to you, or you see someone doing it, like that.
That's a good way to pay it forward. How do I acknowledge God is just recognizing the gift that it's given us,
right.
Existence and
life itself.
Yeah, because everybody's talking about, oh, this world's shit, this world's shit. The only thing that's shit in this world are the people.
Right.
We take people out, the world is beautiful.
Right.
It's bloody and savage, like we mentioned before, but it's balanced.
Right. And the people that say that, it's like their glasses are fogged, and it's their perception too.
It's because they are thinking only on a materialistic level,
right? And
only viewing human actions and how humans have set up this world this time, and it's fucked up. Right. We don't need anybody. Everybody can recognize that in themselves.
I'm into that. Alright, so moving on. So I wanted to get a little bit into Freemasonry. I guess...
Freemason actually comes from medieval French. It means the Sons of Fire.
Sons of Fire.
So, okay. Just wanted to clear that up, because they were Freemasons. Oh, that comes from the stone-cutting guilds in Britain. It's like, no, it's much older than that, and this particular name came from whenever the Knights Templar had to go underground, whenever King Philip and Pope Clement
burned at the stake.
Wanted the Knights Templar. They were getting too haughty, and they needed to be brought down a peg, so the church and the state took them down a peg. Right. But they missed all their treasure, so that fleet out of New Rochelle became the Pirates, Skull and Crossbones, which in Freemason graveyards in the British Isles, there's gravestones of early Freemasons with the skull and the crossed thigh bones.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it just seems like everything within society has some Freemasonic undertones underneath it, in some way, shape, or form.
This idea, because today...
or I guess the Matrix, you could call it. Like what we see as society, or the material world.
The system, the materialistic system that we all live in. Because everybody's like, oh yeah, this is... And first of all, the number one thing, if you ever have a problem in your life, you can probably come down to one thing, and that's money.
Right.
And money is meant to be spent and traded and moved along like an electric current.
Right.
You're not meant to hold on to it and to hoard it, so it literally is energy. As it goes around, it provides energy to the system. Mm-hmm. And so now we've got little pieces of paper that represent money, that are literally worthless, and yet everybody's all focused on them, and it's so easy to control people whenever you control their beliefs that it can get you this pile of green cotton paper can get you anything you want in life. That's power.
Right.
And so
that's the trick that we're all tricked into being after versus what's really important. And
yeah, just